We have the Yugi special back at it again. We have some Crystal Beast and Dinomorphia along with some of your other challengers in the meta. Make sure you guys smash the link, grab that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. I think this is one of the coolest things that I've gotten the chance to see so far out of the new set. It was a top 4 finish with the new Shining Sarcophagus deck, and we've talked a little bit about this on this channel. You've seen me, we've had some massive playtesting sessions with this deck. I think this deck is a lot of fun. Now, some things that may be a little bit off to some people, but I like a 2-2 split on these. I find that the 2-2 line is good. I don't like triple ties. I think you can get away with just one of these because it ensures that it's going to be searchable off of the gadget or, you know, the sarcophagus. I guess their reasoning here is, you know, at least you can open this, and then if you do happen to see, you know, the sarcophagus search into this and you open this, you can at least search for the turn silence, for the negate, so you're kind of good to go. This build also did play a copy of the Silent Magician as well. I guess being able to have this on the field and being able to negate a spell card is also pretty good. I don't really think you need it all that much. This build is also playing triple copies of Dimensional Fissure, and trust me when I say this, this card, a lot of things that are going to steal for you in this game are going to be your hand traps. Things like the Dimensional Shifter and things like the Fissure here will steal you games. Just being able to take away your opponent's graveyard is incredibly good. Now, I also see we're playing a Deus Ex Crawler down here as well. That's actually kind of hilarious to see. And then, of course, spacing out some extra hand traps. They're valuing the extra a lot more than things. I also don't like this build's not playing Doomsday Star or, you know, things like that, more of the standard utility options that you want to see, because I've played this deck enough. I will tell you, you want to have a Doomsday Star at all points in time when you're playing this deck, because there will just be some boards that you just cannot handle. Alright, so just some of my 2 cents here with that. Alright, hi Crystal Beast. So, you know what I always find interesting is the innovation lines of play that people mess around with in Crystal Beast to make the deck feel a little bit more exciting. And I will tell you, Crystal Beast is one of those decks that you can do a lot of stupid shit with. I do see here, this is what I'm talking about with the stupid stuff. You have 1 Hoppy, 1 Imseti, and 1 King Sark in here with 1 Walls. They just chose to... Is there a justification for, like, such a small package? I guess the logic is, you know, we don't want to draw the additional copies of Imseti just to be able to put the bodies on the field. Like, strictly, this is just link climbing aspects to this deck. Looking at, you know, the way the extra deck's structured, you know, dropping a free Black Luster Soldier on the field. Also, this stuff does actually give some sort of merit to getting maybe the worst Crystal Beast out of your hand. It also gives you a field spell to kind of toggle for off of, you know, the Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. So you do have justification for wanting to splash this in, at least in some sort of capacity. I also see down here post-side decking, you can bring in a Necro Valley or Zombie World, depending on, you know, whichever sort of situation you've ran into in the course of your meta that you're going to need. I see that we have Awakening of the Crystal Beast this is a solid 1. Oh no, we are doing 2 and 1 on this. Okay, and the rest of this is just going to be Hand Trap Express, baby. Who doesn't love punishing their opponent with the best hand traps that you possibly can find? Well, it looks like you're having a good time with this, honestly, and that's what you want to see, right? You want to see that decks like this are getting the chance to have some entertainment value out here, and that people are willing to challenge the meta and see what more they can actually come up with. That's what I like to see. All right, we also have Dinomorphia. Now, interesting thing straight off of this list. I see that we are playing the Wannabe in here instead of doing, you know, the Fossil Digs, the Misk, which is fine. Being able to just drop this during an end phase of your opponent's turn and find, well, you could say any good card in your deck. I do think being able to do this, search for an evenly matched to blow your opponent the heck out of the water, would be one of the funniest things that you could actually do with Wannabe. Imagine a world where you could do that. I also see we're still focusing on the Supreme King Soul down here, and trust me when I say this, This card is one of the stupidest Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Honestly, people just don't know how to handle this. I've seen this card result plenty of times, and people just stare at it and they're like, what do I do with that? You know, what am I supposed to do against the big dragons coming down? I mean, the Predapower fusion and the big old Crystal Wing. These two cards right here cause an inconvenience, but just toss an Iodized Rebellion Xyz Dragon on into the mix too. It's all about how many attack points you're getting off of, you know, these guys. I mean, also having the Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon live. I mean, that's a story for another day, right? You just want to make sure that, you know, the big guys are chonking on through and you're able to do your job. Outside of that, 2 Ferret Flames is good. You have the double trap trick up and running. We are citing the one-of copy of Sonic. I don't know if I guess. You do want to make sure that you have a lot of your options so you can kind of do your thing. And you have the old Iron Thunders in here as well. All right, this is pretty normal, I feel like, for what you want to see. Good stuff to actually seeing more Dinomorphia. I think this has been one of my favorite anti-meta decks, still seeing doing well. And, oh, baby, we have the Sky Striker package for you in here. Now, the first things I'm going to find very weird, we're only playing 2 linkage in here. Huh. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess the fact that we're playing Bice deals in here does kind of take a little bit away from any potential OTK gas that we might be finding ourselves lacking. But that doesn't feel like that's much of an issue. You know what I mean? I also see this build as playing an Ego Booster, which is definitely a nice change of pace. And I also see this deck is oddly trying out some interesting going second stuff. So you do have a Snatch Steal in here. You do have the Change of Heart. Once again, you know, with Attack Talents and the Change of Heart are all going to be very thrustable cards, except for you. We have to hard draw you, but we should be, with our engages, we should be getting to enough value. You're probably going to pick this up along the way. We are playing 1 Desires, which I think is fine. If you've played Sky Striker, you'll definitely kind of agree that being able to have the draw too, yeah, you lose some resources along the way, but you should be a good enough player to, it's the same logic I had with playing it in Runic. You know, you'll be able to kind of make assessments based on what you need to do with the deck and figure out what changes that you need to adapt to play with what you have left, and you'll be fine. I see we're also side decking Triple Different Dimension Ground, the Turn Skip, and then of course the power of Yield Evenly Matched in here as well. And just for shiggles, you got 1 copy of There Can Only Be One. You know what? If it works, works. Also see we're doing the Promethean Princess Ambler Whale combo as well. Huh. Well, even Sky Strikers have gone to the point of playing Promethean Princess. Hot diggity darn. I'm actually pretty impressed with that. Well, that's your Sky Striker package for you. And we have some Yubel for you today. I will say that it is a pleasure to see Yubel kind of starting to show up in the meta and look like a meta challenger. We're also only playing 1 Yubel and 1 Terra Incarnate. I still personally really like that 3rd stage. It really does help out for a lot of the spam you can do. I see, hello, the Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. Interesting note here. This build is side decking the Triple Skill Drain. Triple Skill Drain with the Nightmare Pain is kind of some ignorant Yu-Gi-Oh! It actually works. And hey, look, we have another deck in the room that can play Shifter. It amazes me that we look at these decks right now and we're like, oh, hey, you know, you want to play things that actually feel like they matter? Nah, just kidding. I also find this interesting. This build's actually playing a chicken game in here as well. Huh. Well, I will say this is quite interesting. I mean, hey, just 1 more set rotation target, right? Hand your opponent the chicken game, or you take the chicken game. I mean, if you also draw it, it's, you know, your free little draw power along the way. That's perfectly fine. It's all about what options that you can generate to get the best advantage for your deck. And you honestly, you have a lot of good stuff going for you here. It's definitely some of the better meta I've seen so far. So, what do you guys think about all of the very interesting decks that are sitting here? I will say that it is interesting to see what's kind of floating around out here and some of the challenges that are coming with this. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.